guys, I am just doing a basic chat session. Sorry, you can hear Banana out there. I didn't really want to have to make this video, but this has been happening more and more recently. A few people have found me on other social media platforms, and like they've messaged me asking questions. I don't mind that. I don't mind answering questions, but and this is more than one person, so don't feel like I am just pointing a finger at like one person or another. It's happened a few times. Somebody will message me asking a question about an American Girl, a Real Care, a Reborn, a neonate, like any combination of stuff like that. And I have no problem answering it, but they continuously, like, I know it's part of like having a parasocial relationship, and they continuously message like throughout the day. I'm sorry, Sushi's about to fall off the bed. But I don't mind answering questions. I don't mind chatting with people. It's just, please be mindful of my time. First and foremost, I'm a parent. This is a hobby. All the dolls are a hobby. And doing YouTube videos is just part of the hobby for me. It's part of me expressing myself, and like getting to know other people. Because of said hobby, I've met some of my best friends. And some of my really close friends, I've got into this hobby as well. And where I'm saying I don't mind making friends in it, but it's like some of the people are like thinking I am, first of all, chronically online. I'm not online 24/7. Like I said, first and foremost, I am a parent. I now have 2 high schoolers. School just ended, and from April to the end of May, it is chaos. My kids do a special needs theater group, and their performances are usually the end of April. But from the beginning of April to the performances, it is chaos. It is a lot of practice. Even like when they start practice in January to April, we have practice 3 to 4 days a week. And that is just for this one activity. That doesn't include other stuff. Like there's a couple times quite a few times in a month where I'm literally leaving theater and going straight over to another activity. There's a few that were actually late for the second activity because of theater. So my kids keep me busy, especially at the end of the school year. And when it comes to May, because it's the end of the school year, it is like wrapping your heads. You're trying to make sure that your kids, all their work is in. If it's not, helping them or kind of staying on top of getting those assignments done and turned in. End of your year activities, especially with middle school. Now, like I said, both of my kids are in high school, but with the middle school, like there was the concerts, the performance, the awards, this, that, and everything else. It's pure chaos. It's a lot. It's busy. I'm a stay-at-home mom. So to make sure I'm available to my kids, like if they get sick at school, go pick them up. If there's like a performance that's during the school day, I'm there. Or I'm trying to think of other things. If there's a presentation at school, I'm there. Because the high school that my kids go to is a huge project-based school that does a lot of presentations. They are getting these kids set up for working with people in like a job setting, as well as doing presentations in front of like others to get their confidence built up, and to be able to do that like in a work setting. The other thing with that is, not only do they invite parents to come to these presentations, they highly encourage parents to come. So not only am I there for my own kid, I'm there to kind of like help these other kids along. In the school, like all through my kids' schooling, I have been very involved with their schools. So that's where, like, me being a stay-at-home mom, like I said, I'm not online 24/7. Now I'm more involved in the high school than I was the middle school, and that's just because of the environments. The middle school is a typical middle school. Their high school is not a typical high school. So the involvement is different. But I was always the kid that, like, when things would happen during the school day, I was in the crowd looking for my parents, and very few times were they there. I understood both of my parents worked. That was just how our family was. But unfortunately, like, I knew my parents weren't going to be there because they both had to be at work. But it still was heartbreaking as a kid that we had this performance we were doing during school, or we had this award ceremony during school that my parents weren't at. That's kind of, my husband was the same way. He was raised by a single father part of his life, but when his dad was married, they both worked most of the time. For a while, his former stepmom did not have a job, and at that time she did make it to school activities that she could, and that was a lot of them, but there were more than one kid. But what I'm trying to say is, I'm busy as a mom. It's now summer. I'm working, like, not working in a traditional sense, like, I'm doing videos as I can. But my kids keep me busy in the summer. Neither of my kids drive, so activities and things they want to do, I'm taking them to. Like, my daughter's gotten really into criminal justice type stuff, so she's taking a camp through our police department. My son is at the school this summer helping the theater department because he wanted to do that this summer. There's other activities this summer. Their Nana buys them a pool pass every year for the summer, so we're at the pool. Like, we're doing things. And sometimes I feel like some people, like, they want me to respond instantly, and if I don't respond, they're messaging. Like, recently there's a couple people, like I said, that they messaged while I was sleeping. And then I have like 4 other messages. And then, like, why aren't you responding to me message? Okay, I'm sleeping, 1. 2, I don't have a normal sleep schedule. I don't have to have a normal sleep schedule because I'm a stay-at-home mom. I sleep when my body tells me to sleep, which is not a typical sleep schedule. 1. 2, I'm not obviously going to respond in my sleep, but even when I'm awake, I've had a few that will send messages during the day, and they'll send like 4, 5, 6 messages, and then, well, you're ignoring me. Why are you ignoring me? I mean, some of these people, it's I don't want to, but I've thought deeply about, do I need to block this person? Because I don't owe anybody anything. The only people I owe stuff to is my kids. I owe them my time, my affection, and they're my priority. My husband, once again, same thing. Those are the people, and my animals. That's who I owe anything to. But when you start demanding, essentially, that I respond to you, you're not going to get a respond from me. And it's sad that I have to make this, and like I said, it's more than one person that's been doing it recently. And it's not even like, I've had this in the past too, where I have had to block people because they got so demanding of, well, you need to be responding to me. Sorry, no, I don't need to be responding to you. I took my time to answer your questions. I'm helping you as much as I can. Just like there's one, and it's not even on social media. Like, I've had this happen on eBay, that one person wanted me to diagnose their doll. I don't know what's wrong with your doll. I don't have your doll in front of me. Well, it's not doing this. Okay. It can be multiple things. First of all, I don't repair real cares. Have I repaired my own? Yeah, I had one that had an electronic. I had a real care too, that the electronic box worked perfectly fine. It was the speaker. No, was it a Gen 6? It was my G6, the battery was, or the speaker was broke on it. And then I had a Real Care 2, or it was either a 2 or a 2 Plus, that the electronics worked on it, but the speaker was, no, the wiring in the doll did not work. That's what was wrong with that one. There was something wrong with the sensors. So I just took the doll apart, sold the electronics, took the speaker out, put the speaker in, and wired it into my G6, so my G6 would now work. And then I think I sold the rest. I kept, it was in parts, and I think I sold the rest of the doll on eBay for parts, and a Reborn artist bought the doll and somehow made a cloth body to fit it. But it had no electronics in it. They just thought the doll itself was cute. So I ended up parting it out. But I don't know how to diagnose your doll. I do not have your doll in front of you. I am not a Real Care hospital. I'm not a Real Care diagnostic expert either. Can I fix certain things? Yes. Have I done it on my own dolls? Also yes. But that's my own dolls, and that's in front of me, and I can take them apart, and if I screw it up, I'm out the money. So I can't diagnose dolls that I do not see, I have not seen. I can't fix problems. I can tell you what the problem could be. Like in the one case, I'm like, it could be the electronics or it could be the speaker. I don't know which it is. I don't have the doll in front of me. If you have another G6, you can take the electronics out and swap them. If you've got a doll that you know works, swap them, because that's what I did with that one, that there was something wrong with the wiring in it. I took its electronics out and put them in one of my other dolls, and the electronics worked perfectly fine. I knew the speaker on that one worked because when I had its electronics and electronics that I knew worked in it, the speaker worked, but none of, I think it was like the head support didn't work. The feeding sensor did not work. Those were the only two that didn't work because everything else was in the electronics. But like there was something wrong with the wiring harness for the head. And so like I said, I parted that doll out and I used the speaker in the one that I had that I knew. I didn't actually know because the G6 of mine that I fixed, I didn't know if it was the electronics and I didn't know if it was the speaker. It was kind of a, I've got this extra speaker, let's switch them out and see if that fixes the problem. And in my case, it did. It fixed the problem. It was the speaker and the electronics worked fine. So anyways, I digress. What I'm saying is it's happened on multiple platforms. It's happened on Facebook. It's happened on Instagram. It's happened on eBay. Sorry. It did happen on YouTube in the past when there was the messaging ability, but YouTube took that away. And it kind of sucks in one way, but in another way, I understand why, because some people start harassing content creators and messaging them like because of the parasocial relationships, but it's more of a message of where I'm making the videos and you know me more than I know you, 1. 2, anybody making videos, we're just doing this in our spare time. Typically we're doing it because it's fun and we enjoy it. We enjoy the people we meet, but please be mindful of our time. Just because I'm a stay-at-home mom doesn't mean I'm sitting around just waiting for someone to message me. Just because I'm a stay-at-home mom doesn't mean I'm available 24/7 to other people. I'm available 24/7 to my family, and that's it. And some friends. Sorry, guys, my nose is itchy. But that's where I don't want to have to stop. I don't want to feel like I need to stop doing something I enjoy because others are getting demanding. And for the most part, people are kind. Like, they'll message, like I'll get a message, I'll answer their question, and they'll thank me and move on. And that's okay too. I think the other issue is like, yes, Crystal and I have the Facebook group that when Yahoo was getting rid of their groups, we moved over to Facebook. I'm not as active in that group. I know Crystal isn't either. Even my Reborns, my Real Cares and stuff, I still have them. Right now, am in an American Girl phase. I'm not so much in that. I think part of it is, I do have them in that closet and I kind of have them set up and stuff. It just, I don't know. It got too overwhelming. Like, I felt like with that part of me, it was constantly just going shopping and buying to buy for the YouTube channel, buying because things were cheap. Don't get me wrong, I got some great deals going thrifting for my Reborn and Real Care collection, but I walk into a store and I don't have the need to go to the baby section and see what I need to buy. I don't have that need right now. Maybe it's because I'm in a phase of life, like even with my kids, like they're older, we can go do things, we can have fun. Maybe if I had somebody closer to me that had Reborns and would like to go do outings, but to me, you can only go shopping so many times before it gets boring, especially by yourself with a doll. You can only do so much on outings with them. In my area specifically, because, and once again, my kids are older. Like, I did a lot more outings with my Real Cares and Reborns when my kids were younger, because we were going to doing activities geared towards younger kids, where it was fun to take the Reborns. Like when I dressed up one of our Reborns in Eric Carle stuff, and we went to an Eric Carle exhibit at a children's museum. Things like that, where, really, I don't think taking a Reborn to the police station for my daughter's camp that she's taking through the police department would be all that interesting. Maybe it would. Maybe some of the reactions would be interesting, but that, and I just right now don't have the energy and the tolerance to do that. Or like my American Girl collection. If I feel like changing them today, I can change them today. If I don't, I don't. I can put like the little diorama type displays in the dollhouse. But I know a few people kind of got upset that I don't really make Real Care Reborn content recently. It's just, it's a phase that I'm not really into right now. This is more of the phase I'm into. And this has happened before. Like, I had gotten into Real Cares and Reborns and Baby Think It Over's neonates, that whole life-size baby realm. And before I had kids, that was like all consuming. Even like when we moved into our first house from our apartment, literally our guest room had a crib in it. It had a changing table. It had like a full nursery in it. And then you went into our living room. I had strollers, car seats, baby swings. Like, I had the whole gamut of it. If you walked into our apartment when my husband and I just got married, you would have thought we had a baby because of all the baby products I had everywhere. And then we moved into our first house that we bought, and I had baby stuff there. Like, for a little while, I had a crib in our spare room once again. Like when Crystal came to visit the first time, there was the crib and the bed in our spare room, which then changed into my kids' room later on. But I had dolls in there. I actually had in our basement, there was like a display case that had glass on it. And I actually put my dolls up there, the real cares and the neonates and stuff, and I would change them every so often, like for the seasons, and that's just basically what I would do with them there. But I still had like crib swing. I mean, we ended up having our son not long after we moved in. We bought the house in July, and I was pregnant with him in September. So the stuff that I had for the dolls went to him. And then I had my daughter. And then once I had the kids and they started outgrowing the baby stuff, I started selling it off because we just didn't have room for it, because I needed that. First of all, so like I was really into the Real Cares and Reborns. When we moved in, got pregnant with my son, didn't have the energy really to do much with the dolls at that point. Then all the stuff that we had for the dolls went to the Real Kids. And then once the kids got a little bit older, all that stuff we got rid of because we did not have room for. We literally had no room for it, because like where it was in like the living room was now my kids' play area. The room that I had some Reborns in was now my kids' bedroom. Like, you see where I'm going with this. And when my daughter was about 2, I started getting into the American Girls again. Now, I kind of had them a little bit sprinkled throughout. I've always had my Molly. When my husband was in Iraq, he bought me, I can't even think, Emily. When Crystal came, I bought a few things for my American Girls, because now we're living in a place where I had a shelf in my bedroom that I had Molly and Emily in, and I just had like a small little suitcase that had my American Girl stuff in, and that's just how I stored it. Worked for me. That's just how I did it. And then I kind of was thinking about dabbling in American Girl again. And then my best friend posted her childhood collection because her daughter said she didn't want it anymore. And I jumped on it, and I got a good deal. She got money she needed out of it. And that's what really kickstarted my collection as an adult. Then we moved to Minot. My collection grew a little bit in Minot. Now, after buying my friend Kay's collection, Kirsten, Addie, and Samantha, were added to my collection. So I had the 3 originals and Addie. Later on, right after we moved here to Texas, I ended up getting Felicity because of my OCD, because Felicity actually comes between the original 3 and Addie, and it was bugging me that I jumped to Addie. But anyways, that's kind of, and then once we got here, the first house we lived in, I was getting a little bit more and a little bit more. And then when we moved to our rental before we bought this house, I didn't have any truly me's at that point. I strictly had my named dolls. And then I got Miss Keisha over here. And then not long after, I don't even know where she's at. Oh, I got Lily down there. And that kind of kick-started the Truly Me's for me. And then we moved here. I got a few more in the last rental. And then we moved here. And I have the space to be able to display them, change them, play with them, organize their stuff better. So right now I am in an American Girl phase. Yeah, their clothes are a little more expensive. Like, I can go into Walmart and buy like my Real Cares and Reborns, the life-size dolls. I can buy them like an outfit for less than $10, where most of these are now getting to be about $40 to $50. But on the flip side, a lot of these outfits, once they're retired, I can sell them either for what I paid for them or more in some cases. Some dolls, like, you can get, like, I got Lily. Where is she? Right here. Right there. I got Lily. I got her for a steal when I bought her. And she is a number 4 mold. And there's been rumors constantly that they're going to come out with a number 4 mold. They have yet to do that. But I got her for a great deal. I can turn around and sell her. I just recently saw one in not such great, not as in good a shape as she is. Like, the hair was a frizzy mess. Sell for like $300 plus shipping. So clearly, and it came nude, and I have an outfit for her that was from when she would have been made. So I would have her complete nude outfit, and I actually have, I think, the book that would have come with her too. And I've gotten some deals on some of them, they're not worth as much on the secondary market, and that's okay too. But what I'm saying is, and I'm not just looking at a financial standpoint, it's just with them, because with the life-size dolls, because the stuff is more readily available, I think I just burnt myself out by, I feel like, overspending with them. Like, my daughter and I were at the thrift store last week, and I kind of glanced at the baby stuff, but I'm typically not going to take the time to go through the baby stuff quickly, like outfit by outfit. When we went to the consignment sale this spring, I didn't even look at the baby stuff at the full price sale. But at the half price sale, I'm like, yeah, I'll take a gander. And I did get a few pieces, but I did not go through the whole rack. I literally just kind of would like walk by, and if something caught my eye, pick it up, see how much it was, see if it was 50% off, and if I was willing to pay that price, I bought it. If not, it went right back on the rack. But like, I was watching some of my previous videos from like when I first started this channel, and the first haul I posted, I'm looking at it going, oh my God, I bought so much shit. And like, looking back at it, some of the stuff that I bought, I think I bought it just because it was cheap. And like, I didn't really, like, looking at the stuff, like, I now don't think it's cute. I don't think I might have thought it was semi-cute back then, but like, when Walmart had those onesie and pants sets for $2, I bought every single one they had, cute or not, because they were $2. So things like that. For that stuff, I'm getting more picky about what I buy. I have to be absolutely in love with it. I'm at the point where I want quality over quantity. And like I said, that first haul I'm watching, I'm going, oh my God. No. And I don't want to get in that spot again. I have set limits. Like, if stuff doesn't fit in my drawers, I got to get rid of stuff to fit more stuff in. I'm not overflowing at other places. And that, like the American Girls, I've done that too with it. But my phase of life right now is this, more than that. Sorry guys, you can't see off camera, I'm pointing towards the closet that the life-size dolls are in. I'm just more into this. Like, I've changed Sean and Macy recently, and honestly, I don't think they had been changed in a year. And once again, I think it is lack of anybody near me that's into Reborns. Tracy was relatively close. I have not seen or heard anything from her. I think the last video I saw her post was almost 2 or 3 months ago, and I commented and she never replied. So honestly, I don't even know how she's doing. She has not posted anything on her personal Facebook in over a year. So unfortunately, and she had been really sick. She was super sick the last time she made her own video. Like, she was selling dolls at that point. So obviously her going shopping 2-3 months ago wouldn't be a good idea for how sick she is. And I think there's other adult collectors around here. I just haven't connected with them. So if I could find somebody, like Crystal has Marilyn, Paula, and Diana. Something like that. Like, if I could find a friend group, maybe, probably, I'd be willing to go out and do outings with them. But just right now, I can't bring myself, like, even going to Once Upon a Child, I'm looking for American Girl stuff. So what I'm trying to say is, like, that part of my life right now has just kind of been put on hold. If I find something cute, if I find something that jumps out at me, I'll buy it. But for the most part, they have their spots in there. I'm still trying to sell my full body silicone. I've been trying to sell her for a while. I know I need to do some new pictures for her. I was looking at that eBay listing last night. But anyways, what I'm trying to get to, because I've been rambling about other things, is just please be mindful of my time. Please be mindful of anybody's time that you have met on, like, YouTube or whatnot. Just be mindful of people's time in general, because once you start demanding something of somebody that owes you nothing, that's going to be a turnoff for them, and you might lose any sort of friendship that you could have possibly had, or you and they thought were building. So, like I said, I'm not pointing this at any one specific person. Those are just 2 examples of recent ones that I've given in this video. And like I say, recent ones, it's not just 2 people. It's been happening a lot more lately. And unfortunately, I didn't want to have to make this video. It's just getting it was just getting frustrating to me, where I've got people, like, demanding me to answer them and answer their questions. I will answer, like, if you ask a question for a Real Care, Reborn, whatever, I will try to answer you if I can. Sometimes I will say, no, I don't know, because I don't know. And 2, I'm busy. There's times where it's literally like I sit down and, like, when is the last time I had time to myself? Like, I sometimes don't have time to myself, because I'm going to husband's doctor's appointments, going to my own doctor's appointments, going to my kids' doctor's appointments, making appointments, doing this school activity, that school activity. My kids do 4-H, so we've got all that stuff that goes on. So it just gets to be a lot. And then you've got people, like, coming down on you, and you try not to be rude. I don't want to be rude. But if it continues, I might have to just be like, you know what? If you start messaging me on social media, various social medias, I'm just not going to answer the questions. And I don't want it to come to that, because I want to help where I can. So, in conclusion, just please be mindful of my time. Please be mindful of other people's time. I'll answer things as I can. Sometimes I need to put them as a priority, especially, like I said, I've got 2 high schoolers. I don't have a whole lot of time left with them before they're adults and they're flying out of the nest. And then once they fly out of the nest, I mean, I know me. Once I left home, did I go back home and spend time with my parents? Yes. But it's not the same. It's not like when you live with your parents and stuff like that. So I understand it's going to be a difference, and I owe it them. I owe them my time while I still have time with them in that capacity. So just please be mindful of my time. Please be mindful of anybody's time. And I will see everyone later. Bye.